Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
In tribute to the legendary Little Richard, your boy gots to kick off this episode of The Real Rush in the most honorable way possible. Go something like this. Gonna tell all the Rushaholics blind Uncle Dub he watch a lot of movies but he have a lot of fun, oh baby. Yeah, baby. Ooh, baby. Watching The Real Rush night. Yeah. Bang your head to the opening riff, sugar. Woo! Shut up.
Shut up and sit down.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 85 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. And I am your boy J-Dub. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. And happy Sunday to just straight up everybody out there. Hope this episode is finding everybody happy and safe and healthy. And if it ain't, then hopefully this episode, as I like to say, is finding you on your road to recovery from whatever may ail you at this time. Check out the shirt that I got on today here, y'all. I know. Well, y'all know. To all my fellow Rushaholics out here, my longtime viewers, know that your boy rocks a different wrestler shirt every episode. No repeats, just like our movies here. But why's your boy rocking a Goldberg shirt here today? Well, check this shit here out, y'all. As of this past Thursday marked 173 Thursdays consecutively in a row. I know consecutively and in a row mean the same thing, but I'll go ahead and say them at the same time to just drive home and stress the significance of the shit that I'm about to drop hit on y'all. That kind of 411. 173 consecutive Thursdays that your boy has viewed a movie with these pretty brown eyes for the very first time. That's right, y'all. So what the fuck does that have to do with Goldberg? You know, for those who may not be, you know, like so enamored by the pro wrestling world as your boy and some other people out there watching there in YouTube land might be. Well, Goldberg went on a nice little undefeated streak that went all the way up to 173 wins, 0 losses. And the way that your boy here sees it is that means that your boy just ran unopposed for 173 Thursdays with watching a movie for the first time. At least out of my set of peeps, I don't know anybody else that's pulled that kind of shit off. Huh? You know anybody else that's pulled that kind of thing off? Yeah, that's what I thought. Shut up. Anywho, what's that got to do with Goldberg? That means that if your boy just ran 173 and 0, and Goldberg ran for 173 and 0 matches, that means that your boy and The Real Rush just tied Goldberg's legendary undefeated streak here, y'all. Give myself a pat on the back on that one. Ooh, make me feel so good. Hell yeah. So that means that, you know, knock on the wood of the Rushtron right here. That means that in just a couple days here, we should be breaking that streak, as we like to do here on The Real Rush, breaking records and breaking streaks and taking names and taking no shit from anyone. Anywho, let's go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks of the 4. That's right, I say 1, 2, 3, 4 movies that your boy has reviewed here for y'all this week. But before we actually get down to that, let me drop a little bit more knowledge here for you. For the first time, actually let me preface this by saying, if you've been watching over the last like 7 to 8 episodes, ever since the whole lockdown thing went into place, since we haven't been able to go to any movie theaters, since there are no movie theaters open to go to, that means that your boy has had to provide reviews by other means. Now, while I have been keeping the streak going, watching at least one new movie to bring to y'all, at least previously unseen by these pretty brown eyes, at least one of those per week. Outside of those, then I've been going back to my 4K, my Blu-ray, my DVD collection off of movies that I feel should be reviewed for y'all. So maybe y'all hadn't heard of some of them yet, so kind of bring those to y'all attention, or maybe even things that might be on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu or what have you, streaming services. Whatever your needs may be. If I see a movie on there that your boy had seen before, but maybe y'all hadn't, I went ahead and reviewed those for you. So it's been a mix of previously unseen movies and previously seen movies that your boy wanted to bring to your attention. Well, for the first time in 7 to 8 episodes, hence weeks, almost 2 months here. It's Sunday, May 10th, 2K20, Mother's Day, right after 6 o'clock in the morning as we film this joint here for y'all right here, right now. For the first time in almost 2 months here, y'all, I can sit here and say that all 4 movies that I have reviewed for y'all right here for this episode's Real Rush ticket are all previously unseen by these what? By these pretty brown eyes. I'm not even sure if that's the right lyrics, but mint condition was my jam. Anywho, so yeah, it felt good this past Thursday night into hella early Friday morning to be able to refresh my own eyeballs with all movies that I had not seen before. Now, one of the movies out of the 4 movies, I'll admit, is about 9 years old, but it seems quite timely. One of the movies actually ties into that movie quite nicely, I do believe, and you'll hear why here in a couple moments. But the rest of the other 3 movies, one of those, as far as I know, is a straight up new release, at least the US audiences, as of this past Wednesday. And the other 2, they're pretty damn fresh, as in having been released within like the last 4 or 5 months overall. So let's go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks. And the movie that I want to kick things off here with y'all here this episode is called Blue Story, which is the directorial debut of Ratman. And Blue Story follows the lives of 2 best friends, Timmy and Marco, who, while they attend the same high school in Peckham, a hood of London, they live in different neighborhoods. And these different neighborhoods, well, these hoods, they're enthralled in quite the, for lack of a better term, horrific postcode gang war. Now, when Marco is jumped by some gangsters, by some real gangsters who rep the set in Timmy's hood, it causes a terrible rift in between the 2. And furthermore, it sets off a tragic chain of unfortunate events, y'all. Blue Story is a hardcore, sobering look at the tested bonds and loyalty between friends and family. And we ain't just talking about blood family, blood relatives, but we're talking about that of street family as well here, y'all. And it also takes quite the in-depth and sobering, once again, look at the slippery slope that revenge, or without giving too much away, or just even the thought of, can lead one down. As I stated a couple moments ago, this is the directorial debut of Ratman, who actually narrates pretty much the entire movie via use of super lyrical rap. and the super lyrical, super poetic narrative by Rapman, just like I stated in my review of Blind Spotting last week, it enhances the story, and it makes it even more, just with the ferocity of his lyrics, that much more of a grim fairy tale, or the polar opposite of a fairy tale is, I should say. I don't even know if there's an actual term that would describe what a polar opposite of a fairy tale would be. I describe it as a hood fable based on some really harsh truths and realities, as these were actually inspired by some of the things that Rapman grew up seeing growing up in hoods London. Not only does his narrative enhance the story in that sense, but it also made the blows and the punches of both the story and the visuals that the movie brought to these pretty brown eyes, it made them hit that much harder as they jumped off the Rushtron when I was viewing it here this past Thursday night, y'all. Blue Story. Overall, it's a raw and rugged look at street and hood life, not just in London, but I think that everyone worldwide can identify with this some way, somehow. And not only that, but I found the movie, once again, overall to be extremely reminiscent of that of John Singleton's earlier films. Most certainly Boys in the Hood, but even a little bit of poetic justice and a little bit of higher learning sprinkled in there as well. Blue Story, as stated a couple moments ago, I didn't state a couple moments ago. This just premiered to U.S. audiences on Amazon Prime Video's cinema section just a few days ago. As far as I know, that's the first time I saw it, was this past Wednesday. So I said, all right, let's go ahead and make this our Thursday view. But this premiered in the UK back in November, so the U.S. audiences are just now getting a taste of this as of a couple days ago. Put this on your list, put it in your queue, put it on your radar, whatever you need to do. I cannot stress enough, do not sleep on Blue Story. It's available for rent for $6 on Prime Video Cinema. If this had actually dropped in the theaters over here in the US, it would have been at least $12 to $13 to see this movie, and I would have paid upwards of $20, $25 and still walked away fulfilled from this movie. Even though it is quite the heavy watch, just know that going in, you can't sleep on Blue Story, y'all. So Blue Story, Prime Video Cinema, check it out, y'all. For real. So moving right along to what's next on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, as I viewed Blue Story here the other night, and the movie that I'm about to talk about is the one that I mentioned a couple moments ago that's about 9 years old. As I viewed Blue Story here the other evening, these boys in the movie... Oh, one thing that I did leave out about Blue Story real quick. Put the poster back up. There you go. You may need subtitles to watch this. At least I did. It may help you keep up with some of the rude boy lingo that's going on the screen there. Scene. Much like most people had to do with Snatch their first time. Hell, sometimes when I watch Snatch, I still got a problem with the subtitles every once in a while. But yet I digress. Just that little nugget of info there for you. Help you get through Blue Story. But as I was about to say here, and you can pop off the Blue Story. There you go. As I was about to state here, there is a moment in Blue Story that these boys, as I mentioned a couple moments ago, these boys are attending the high school in Peckham. And there's a moment in Blue Story where these boys mention that is the same hood that our boy John Boyega hailed from. And that made me realize, holy shit, there is a movie out there starring John Boyega that I hadn't seen up until really early this past Friday morning, which is a perfect tie-in from Blue Story into the movie that I'm about to break down here for y'all. Blue Story led me to view and now review here for y'all the movie that brought us John Boyega. His feature film debut. This joint is called Attack the Block. And if you like me a couple days ago, if you're one of the people out there that haven't seen Attack the Block, what's it all about? The best way I can break it down here for you goes a little something like this. What happens when aliens descend upon a South London hood, and it's up to that of a local teenage street gang to protect this set from invasion and impending doom? You get this piece of cinematic prime badassery here, y'all. This movie is fucking awesome. I gotta sing that. I gotta reach for that note with the finger. This shit is awesome. I can't stress enough how mad fucking imaginative this joint is, and imagination seems to be director Joe Cornish's MO, as we saw in his last feature film that came out early last year, 2019, The Kid Who Would Be King. If you haven't seen it, we reviewed that in episode 18. Check out the review, and then check out The Kid Who Would Be King if you haven't seen that. Yet I digress. Let's get back to Attack the Block here. The best way that I can describe Attack the Block, the most on-point review, is if I was established enough to, have my review pop up on the TV spot for Attack the Block, if this were to get re-released in theaters for some reason, is that it would be Predator meets The Warriors, or maybe even Predator meets The Warriors meets Red Dawn, even. Like I said, this is the movie that gave us John Boyega, y'all. And man, it's witty. It's got some well done visual effects in it. And it's quick paced. It takes you on a ride from head to toe, from the rooter to the tutor. It's only about 88 minutes, which is an hour and 28 minutes, layman's terms. But it only felt like an hour here, y'all. And even though it's quite humorous, it's the suspense and the scares of Attack the Block are extremely on point, and even a bit of the storyline is a bit emotion driven. It'll hit you right here in a couple of spots if you haven't seen it. I love the fact that it's kind of a throwback to the 80s style of horror, sci-fi comedies, albeit it's way less cheesy than a lot of the movies that we got back then. And overall, it's just a straight up smart hood sci-fi, and very well acted, if I do say so myself. Now that I've seen it, and I'm surprised that I hadn't picked it up on this format before now, but I most certainly will be after this. As of now, I will most certainly be getting a Blu-ray, or if there is a 4K of this shit, then I will be getting this in the highest quality disc format possible. So if you just like me and hadn't seen Attack the Block up to this point, yeah, my peoples were right. I was missing out on something, and if you haven't seen it, you are definitely missing out on some awesome shit as well, y'all. Attack the Block, check it out. Moving right along to what's next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. There are two movies here from director Joe Begos that I wrapped up my quadruple feature Thursday night and leading into Friday morning. Man, this next joint here that I'm about to review here for y'all, this joint is called Bliss. And what is Bliss all about? Well, Bliss stars Dora Madison as Desi, who is an artist out in Los Angeles, a struggling artist, I must say. She's been struggling to find inspiration, and she ends up seeking it via this intense cocaine-like substance called Diablo. Now, while Diablo does seem to feed Desi with the inspiration that she has been so desperately, searching for, she also seems to find herself under the influence, but also with a newfound bloodlust taken over. And that's all I want to say about this movie before I give anything away here, y'all. Bliss. This shit is extreme to the max here, y'all. Extreme to the max. I think I've even had some trips like this before in my lifetime. Just not as bloodlusty or lustrous, whatever the term may be. And we'll get to that here in a couple moments. Bliss. At this point, I can't stress enough. This shit is not for the faint of heart here, y'all. Not at all. Most of y'all watching this won't have the stomach for it. As a matter of fact, hell, most of y'all watching this won't even be able to handle the sheer overall magnitude that Joe Bagos and Bliss brings to the table. So that being said, I want to challenge y'all. This is my Real Rush challenge that I'm shouting out to y'all. Because I know that some of y'all are sitting there saying, J-Dub doesn't think that I can handle this shit. Let me show this motherfucker. Okay, well go ahead. I challenge y'all. Rent Bliss on Prime Video. It's only like $3-4 to rent. And let's see if you can sit through all 1 hour and 20 minutes of it. And even though it's only an hour and 20 minutes, it's really quick paced. It's like a fucking trip all its own. To me, it only felt like an hour. But to those who aren't used to these sort of visuals or that sort of sensory environment, it may seem like even longer. Kind of like a trip. So for some of us who are used to that kind of thing, it didn't seem like that, y'all, like that long. But to some of y'all who ain't used to that sort of thing, therein lies the challenge. It may seem longer than an hour and 20 minutes, and by the end of it, it's just going to be like, it's not going to be like, what the fuck did I just watch? But while you're watching this entire movie, it's like, what the hell what is going on in front of my very eyeballs as I sit here and view this movie? But it's in a good way. It's not, what the hell did I just watch? This shit is terrible. No, it's in very gory, visceral, and hauntingly visual, pulse-pounding, blood-soaked, funhouse of thrills manner. I loved the cinema. Alright, so you got 70s style cinematography mixed with 80s styles visuals that are influenced by pretty much any damn designer drug that has been made since the 1990s. And this next part, I know I've been saying I can't stress this enough, but this next part I can't stress the stress out of this motherfucker enough here, y'all. This is a much needed boost to not only a centuries old horror subgenre, but y'all been sitting there, I've been seeing y'all talk about on Facebook and on Instagram and all types of social media all damn day, especially throughout this pandemic lockdown. Y'all been craving for something different, different to wet your palate with here, y'all. This is it. This is the bee's knees right here, y'all. And the 70s style, I feel, screenplay, the dialogue that comes with it is something that my heart desired as well, because the shit ain't spelled out here for you. It all comes together by the end of the movie, but it's not just laid out for you like your typical Hollywood A movie, I would say, for lack of a better term. So, if you ain't on drugs when you watch this joint, you probably don't need them. And if you are on drugs when you watch this joint, you might want to proceed with caution. Or don't. Fucking throw caution into the wind here, y'all, because pick your poison on this shit. For lack of a better saying, is what I'm trying to say here, y'all. Overall, the way that I felt about this movie is it's almost as if Hunter S. Thompson wrote a horror novel and it got adapted into that of a film. And that makes me actually want to coin a new term here, y'all. Patent pen bitches on this shit. I have to label Bliss Gonzo horror. There's a new genre out here in our midst here, y'all, and it's called Gonzo horror. And if you're familiar with any of Hunter S. Thompson's works or seen any of the movies based upon his works, then take that and put a horror movie spin on it, and you get Bliss. Yeah. I will note this. There's a warning right at the beginning of the movie that does warn those who are photosensitive or epileptic to beware of the visuals and the flashing effects that go on in this movie. Your boy's epileptic. And I got through it pretty well. Even with a clear mind and everything. So yeah, I guess the meds that they have had me on, ever since my diagnosis many years ago, those shit seem to be working pretty well. But just beware of that. If you ain't been keeping up on your meds or anything, just beware that this could do some shit to you. All right, and they warn you right at the beginning of the movie, so you can't sue anybody. So yeah, I love this movie. This is another one that I will be seeking out on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever the highest quality format that I can physically find it here on here, y'all. But one thing that it did make me realize is that they talk about bliss as being that's the term for like the drug, the overall drug that's being used in this movie, and it made me wonder if it kind of equaled that of ecstasy, which used to be my hardcore, go-to, like every once in a while drug of choice back in the day before the doc said that I couldn't do that shit no more. But not only that, it did remind me of a wild night that I experienced just earlier this week. Here, go ahead and take a look at this shit. Hey, where the party at? Girls is on the way. Oh, what we got here? Ooh, we got some drugs. Devil may die, small doses my ass. I'm snort dog, baby. Let me sample some of this shit. Devil gonna learn today. Oh, God damn, that hurts. Oh, and I got the most intense taste for marshmallows, man. I ain't fucking with that shit no more. Not no more. Okay, just a little taste. Yeah. That shit was wild, right? I know that shit was wild. But not only, if you thought that shit was wild, y'all. So later on that day, after I finally came back to my senses and shit, I went around and drove around for a little bit and, did a little bit more. And not only did your boy get pulled over while on the devil may die shit, and not only did your boy not get a ticket, but the cop who stopped me said that was some of the best driving he had ever seen anybody fucking do. And your boy might have a spot in the Prince William County Police Department as just a straight up driver for the cops. I don't even gotta shoot at nobody. So how you like them apples? Put that shit in your pipe and smoke it there, son. Yet I digress. Bliss, check this shit out, y'all. Shit is wild. And that it moves us right along to what is going to wrap things up here for us right here on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, as Bliss is the perfect companion piece to the next film that I'm about to review here for y'all. Also directed by Joe Begos. They both came out within like months of each other, weeks perhaps, I believe. And this joint here is called VFW. And what is VFW all about? Well, what happens when a girl with a backpack full of stolen drugs runs into a VFW, Veteran of Foreign Wars post, for those, you know, uneducated on that front, runs into a VFW post filled with vets who in turn must protect the girl and defend their set against not only that of a ruthless drug kingpin, but also from a ravenous horde of hardcore fix-seeking drug addicts. You get this shit, which is the absolute ultimate in 80s throwback action at midnight grindhouse that'll make you want to stand up and shout, "God bless America, motherfuckers!" Because that's what I did during and right after seeing VFW early Friday morning. I know I just said that it was a midnight movie, but damn it, 6 o'clock in the morning is becoming my new midnight, so it hit me just as all the same. Apparently this was filmed at actual VFW Post 2494 in Irving, Texas. That I had to do some fact checking on, but if that is true, then awesome to Director Begos and to the proud veterans of that very post for y'all. We thank you for your service. Alright, so this has Stephen Lang, Martin Cove, William Sadler, Fred Williamson, David Patrick Kelly, George Wendt, just to name a few of the cast of characters. I have to say that this just may be the most badass role that I've ever seen Stephen Lang in, and the man has done some badass shit in his filmography here, y'all. If I was to put, you know, like my Real Rush quote up on the trailer or the TV spot for VFW, it would read something like this. My boy who clued me into this movie was not wrong in saying that it's very John Carpenter-ish. It's very reminiscent of Mr. John Carpenter. So my quote would be that it would be John Carpenter, pick any of his fucking movies. John Carpenter meets From Dusk Till Dawn on some heavy goddamn drugs here, y'all. The late night cinematography is, it's primo. It's perfection. I've always called this feel a cinematography. I've always labeled it as the 3 a.m. feel. It's dark and it's neon and it's gritty. And it's got the pulse pounding soundtrack behind it that you can only get from that 3 a.m. feel. And you ain't gonna get that 3 a.m. Well, actually, no. I think I was quite in tune to the 3 a.m. feel before I started, you know, dabbling in like substances and shit in my youth. Yet I digress on that. We already had a whole month full of 420 about me talking about that shit. So yet I digress on that point here. As I stated, perfect companion piece to Bliss. And same as Attack the Block, I watched Attack the Block after Blue Story, which was quite fitting. It had a good flow to it because your boy needed something a little bit more upbeat after dark, after Blue Story. But VFW, now mind you, it is just a little bit less gory than that of Bliss, but it is still hardcore as a motherfucker. It's a nice tie-in and a good aftermath, I should say, to Bliss, but overall a damn good, bloody as hell action, good versus evil flick. I will be getting the Blu-ray of this shit as well. And one thing that, not to give anything away here, but is it kind of a running theme of Begos here that I noticed in between both Bliss and VFW, you know, beware of hardcore drugs, or maybe too overly heavily synthesized. designer drugs, as I should say? Quite possibly. But anywho, VFW, y'all, get your neo-grindhouse fix. If I just coined the term Gonzo horror, then this shit is neo-grindhouse all the way. Get your fix, people, where you can. I found every single one of these on Prime Video for a great ass rental fee. Check these shits out and you will not be disappointed here, y'all. Woo! And that, my friends, is a wrap for episode 85 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. As I mentioned back at episode, or the last couple episodes, that there was some new bandit shit on the horizon. Well, guess what? Right after I announced that, after the filming of last week's episode, in the midst of announcing that, our first ever video sketch dropped on Facebook, y'all. Bandit Boxes. That dropped on May 2nd. And that is some shit. That is the shit that you need, because that's the shit that you need to check out there, son. Because your bandits are back with a vengeance. How can you find it? If you're on Facebook, all you gotta do is look for the Stagecoach Theater Company page on Facebook, and if there happens to be more than one Stagecoach Theater Company, I didn't find one, but if there happens to be one, since we talking worldwide here, just look for the Stagecoach Theater Company in Ashburn, Virginia, and look for the post from May 2nd, Bandit Boxes. Check it out and have some good laughs here, y'all, because we damn sure had a good time making it for y'all. So hopefully everybody who's out there watching it is quite being highly entertained by Bandit Boxes. Don't miss out on that joint, y'all. Yeah. Coming up next weekend here for y'all on episode 86 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Same as the last couple weeks. Who the fuck knows? But it does look like Scoob, which was slated to drop in theaters sometime soon, is slated to drop on video on demand on May 15th, this coming Friday. So if that is the case, then hopefully we will have that review for you on episode 86. But speaking of this coming Friday, that just happens to be your boy's birthday. Your boy's birthday. So we gonna be coming back to y'all, episode 86 for your boys' birthday weekend up in this motherfucker. But until then, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that, feel free to go ahead and type those on into the comment section of the YouTube page where you are watching this episode of The Real Rush right here, right now. To everybody who has subscribed to The Real Rush right here on YouTube thus far, thank you for having done so. If you haven't done so yet, what the hell are you waiting for? You want to be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode. Be sure that when you talking to your peeps that you tell them about The Real Rush. Share the word, share the love, spread the word of The Real Rush like everybody should be spreading, still be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. And don't forget that The Real Rush does have replay value. Any movie that you want to get your boys' thoughts on and get a good honest to God review on, all you gotta do is go up to the top of the YouTube page here and type in the YouTube search bar, in quotation marks, The Real Rush, followed by, outside of quotation marks, the name of the movie that you're looking for, and then boom! Instant movie review on demand for you, because your boy Dub and The Real Rush got y'all covered for life, son! And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins and updates as they occur. And you can follow your boy at JDub Champion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy JDub. Thank you once again for joining us for episode 85 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Remember, during this time, especially during this time, remember to enjoy yourselves. For today, happy Mother's Day once again to everybody. Chill out, y'all, while you enjoy yourselves. Hopefully, once again, everybody is staying as safe and healthy as possibly can be. Have fun, y'all. Love, J-Dub. We'll see you next weekend. Peace